Alright, rants and reviews. Today is not a typical video. Today is a response to kingjoes questions. Let's start off. I'd just like to say, during the video, you see me looking down an awful lot. It's because instead of like writing them down and like trying to memorize them, which I actually tried. My cousin came to me and she's like, "Well, why don't you send them to me via email? I'll print them out for you and you can read them on there." So that's how I got this printout of the questions. So let's begin. Number one, what got you into collecting? Alright, when I was 12, there used to be a shop right down the street from my house. And my brother and I used to go there, I wouldn't say an awful lot, but quite a bit. And he wasn't there like for too long. I think he was there for like 2, maybe 3 years. I don't know. But anyway, we would go down there and we would hang out with the guys, end up buying 1 or 2 comics and going home. But what really sparked my interest, I saw that he had a comic book. He had all 4 issues of the original Wolverine series, and I wanted that so bad. I was drooling over this, but it was like $150, and I was like 12 at the time, so $150 was a pretty big deal. But anyway, if I had it, I would have spent it on a drop of a hat, but I didn't have it. But the funny thing is, that Christmas, or my birthday, I can't remember which, but I'm opening a gift, and guess what it was? It was the comic books. Now, years have gone by, and it's kind of funny because I have been trying to get my comic books from my see, I live with my father, and all my comic, his room is what used to be my old room, and my living room is now my bedroom. So as you can tell, but he says they're all up there, but never brings them out. And foolish me, I thought he had told me at one point that he had given them away. So what I went out and did is I went out on eBay and I started looking up, the Wolverine series 1 through 4, and I'll admit a lot of the prices were outrageous, but I managed to crack a good deal. Unfortunately, I have 2 copies of it now, and like one copy I really love, and the other copy is like deplorable. I can't believe what I paid for it, put it that way, and that's how bad these things are. There's obviously like Ben and all all that kind of stuff in them. But number two? What are your favorite superheroes and what companies are they from? All right. The first one, yeah, it's gonna be a no-brainer. I got a couple answers to this question. Hopefully, I'm allowed. But sorry if I'm breaking any rules. But um, when I was growing up, Wolverine was my character. Was the bomb. I think it's funny though, but I think anybody would say that. As of right now, uh, I'm kind of more into like the horror comics, like creepy and a lot of the stuff like that. Although I am ashamed to admit I don't have any creepy creepy comics. Um, More of that version of comic. I do have Friday the 13th, Badlands, and I have Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, Paranoid, I think it was. Anyway, question number three. What are your favorite sports teams? Alright. I grew up the lazy man in the family. Alright. Um, which isn't to say that, like, I was never involved in sports. Like, when I was really little, like 8 or 9, maybe even 7, I um, was involved in t-ball, but I never really progressed from there. I was also in karate, um, but I really never progressed from there. And also at the time, I was living with my mom, and we moved here to Woburn. I live in Boston now, Woburn, and anyway, when I moved here, I guess you could say I discovered TV, and then that took over a large portion of my life. Um, so I never really got into sports. If I had to pick a team, I'd go the route of the city I live in, Massachusetts. Live right next to Boston, so it's got to be the Red Sox. Um, but really, it's only because of where I live. What was your favorite toy from when you were a kid? Okay, I had a few of them, but I can mark it down what my favorite toy was. Um, I had, and I wish I still had it, but I had the, I guess you could call it the original uh, Hulk Hogan. The ones they were like made out of a really strong rubber material. I mean, you could basically twist it a little bit, but you couldn't move it very much. And it was always pre-posed, it was always like this, and you probably didn't see my other arm, but I was just basically doing this over there, or this over on the other arm. But anyway, and you can like stretch him out a little bit, but he wasn't going far. But it was completely rubber, and it was of Hulk Hogan, and it's funny because I admired him in those days when I was really younger. I really didn't quite like his NWO days, so I really didn't like follow him, or get his any more of his toys or anything like that. Uh, if I could, um, I'd like to say what my favorite toy now is, and that has to be uh, Living Dead dolls. My favorite toy that has come out as of late. I mean, I have two sets and plus another one that well, the one that I bought was okay. I bought a Gretel, and then I saw on a website that it had Hansel and Gretel, and it wasn't for like, in my opinion, a huge amount of money, but it was okay. So I figured for $2, it worked itself out. I mean, it was like 20 something, so it was like $10 a doll, and I just love them. But if you could have a movie prop, what would it be? Also, tell what movie it was from. Alright, if I could have anything, oh, oh man, there are really so many things. Now, especially like when I was a kid, I like was afraid of these things, but like now, what I'd really like to have is the uh, well, there's three of them really. I'd like the mask from Halloween. I'd like the um, I'd like the machete from uh, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, and I would like Freddy Krueger's glove, and I'd like them all to be signed. I think that would be cool. I mean, the machete, if I could get it, I'd like display it in one of those glass cases, and like no one would be allowed to ever touch it. Even to clean it, no one would be able to touch it. But anyway, what is your favorite television show, past or present? Well, I may shock you with this one. My favorite show as of late has been okay. After dinner, my father and I watch TV together, and we watch Cowboys. Um, and I mean, I must have seen every single episode by now, but I don't know. It said it was the longest running show of its time, so. But my favorite show is it's called it is now called Marshall Dillon slash Gunsmoke, and it is just like now my favorite show on television because I really can't deal with all the stuff that's been on there lately. It just like it's mind-boggling to me some of the stuff. You know, favorite movie. This one's tough because I've got more than one answer. See, for the longest time, Gladiator was number one. I mean, when I was a kid, it was Karate Kid. And then as I grew up, my favorite was um, Gladiator. Oh, but the one that is stuck in my head uh, is oh, I can't forget this one. 7. Uh, because first of all, it's a thriller. I mean, you must have seen this movie uh, before, um, but anyway, it's just it's about these two cops and they're going after a killer and he's killing based on the 7 deadly sins. And there is one part in the movie that I cannot watch. It just totally freaks me out. Is there's a part where they're breaking into this guy's house and he gets sloth and they break in and all of a sudden they must have tripped something, but the guy sits straight, like just pops right out of bed and starts screaming, and it's like the first time I ever saw it, I almost like literally pissed myself because it was like that. Uh, and like I see it every time, but I cannot like I don't know what's coming. Like I try to mute it when the when I see it on TV or something. I try to mute it, and it I think I'm going to miss it. I think I'm going to like get past it, but I mute it. And I think I've passed it. Then unmute it, and then it's the very next scene. Where the guy pops out of bed, and but yeah, that. And I actually have to say that another good movie, which honestly they haven't been playing very many of, I don't think. It was Red. I thought it was a wicked good movie. I did. And it would be up in one of my favorites. What is the funniest thing that has happened to you or that you did? That's a tough one. Um, I don't know if you count this as exactly funny, but one time I was going around the pool and I was pushing people in, and they didn't know they didn't know I knew at the time, but I think most people were like jumping in because I wasn't really pushing. I was kind of putting my hands on people's backs and using a little force, but they would fall in, and it's like I think it was more like they did it for me, so to speak. So, but anyway, that's my response to King Joe. Sorry, King Joe. I will see you on the flip side. Thanks, and bye.